Morning, guys.
What's Scotty?
So the one
Night.
thing I will say about Matthew McConaughey is he does when he needs to, he makes the priority to go get his head right. And what did he take? Like 2.5 months or something when he decided to write this book to go through his notes and things. So I think that's it's important, and it's a hard thing for us, I think, to do, and maybe even like think of it as something that's important, not just a luxury. um, One of the things that uh, my 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 spiritual advisor, uh, Joseph, tells me, he's like, when you're feeling consumed and you're in that kind of, call it a fog, the best thing you can do is remove yourself from the situation, go get away from the source and get your head right. And you think about like how often McConaughey took off and just went out to get his head right, and how important that was for him to re-energize, refocus, and really figure out, like, you know um, which move to make next. And Alice, Alice and I were talking about it. I mean, Jesus had 40 days, or I think, was it 40 days with Satan banging on him? And
Yep.
it's the story of the Bible.
40 days.
40,
That was 40 years for the Jews in the desert.
40 days out in the desert.
Jesus had the 40 days.
40 days in the desert.
Yeah, his trial.
So, almost again, there's a theme. Brandon Dawson talks about, part of his ritual is he's got a 20-minute block every day that he spends in silence. With John Maxwell, he has a book out. It says something about how leaders think, and he talks about how he puts aside time every month or every quarter, or certain blocks of time every year where he withdraws from the noise, and he meditates and he thinks, right. And it's so easy, especially I think for us call it, we're in the in between, right, where it feels like every minute of the day is consumed. And it it does seem like a luxury to take a day even and say, hey, you know what, I just need to get away for a day, right? It's kind of a crazy thought. So just
Upside down.
yeah, go to the upside down. So I just thought that was my takeaway from the chapter. Really was about how important it is to get that time, get your head right, because if your head's not right, nothing else is going to matter. So
That's a good point.
I've actually just watched a small snippet of an interview with Rob Zombie. Before Rob Zombie was performing under Rob Zombie, he was in a band called White Zombie. He was talking about how basically they broke up as soon as they got big because the performing with the band itself wasn't enjoyable for him. He's like, with his current crew, they get together backstage and they crack jokes and they hang out and they go out to the stage with energy. When he was with White Zombie, nobody talked to each other. Nobody really wanted to be around each other. They would go up and they would perform for a bit and they would scatter. It's like it just felt fake and phony, and I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. So even when he was successful, White Zombie broke away, became Rob Zombie, and then got even bigger and more popular.
Yeah, their shows are pretty great.
yeah, that energy, right, of coming together around something is super powerful. That's part of why we do this, because it gives us a reason to focus. That's why we do the strategy meeting every morning, because it gives us a point of focus to come together and look at things as a team.
We should get some 15-foot tall Frankensteins to walk around in our office like Rob Zombie has.
Well, the floor is open.
I mean, I tend to agree with you, Sean, that that was my kind of takeaway too, in that he just was really good about taking the time to mute everything else out and isolate himself to figure out what was going to be next. And he was also he is also very good about paying attention to certain signals that tipped him off that he needed to do that. And I think that's something that I can definitely use in my life, is, paying attention to some of those things that kind of warn you that you need to take a little bit of time to yourself. And whether that's on the daily or, a quarterly thing, or every 6 months, that you kind of just reassess and then also, take the time when it arises that you need to.
Yeah, it's not, I think it's could easily get viewed as being selfish, but really it's a critical thing, right? You can't
Yeah, I mean,
help
he
anybody if you
spent
can't help yourself.
even like after his kids and when he was going to go away to write that book, he took a lot of time like by himself. It wasn't, still with the kids and the wife, like, running around him, and, he had to like actually isolate himself so that he could really focus and figure out, which direction to go and how things were going to happen. And that's important. And it doesn't necessarily like he would, he took 2 weeks in this location and 2 weeks in that location. It doesn't always have to be that amount of time. It could be, you know, one day. It could be 2 hours where you know, take that time to yourself. But if you have all these other distractions constantly and you don't ever take that time, you're never able to really get in touch with where your feelings are and where you need to go next. And if you are able to do that, you're actually going to be better off helping everybody else. So yeah, it may look selfish, but at the same time, you're going to end up showing up for other people better than you were.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? Is every time he's done this, he comes out of it with more than he went into it with, right? And so maybe the thing that would make it selfish is if he never improved, right? Take a month off, go sit in the forest, but come back the same person. Well, that was not a good use of time. But every time that he's done one of these things, he comes out of it with the energy to focus and the drive to go do that next thing, which leads to more success. So I think it's definitely the standout for me in the final chapter.
Never too late to change. He can kind of, when he's on these quotes that Sandy put on the slide, don't wait until the end of your life to think about your legacy. He never hesitated from going and changing stuff up and trying new stuff. And I think that can seem daunting to anyone if you're thinking about, I want to do this, because we want to take like this giant bite out of it right away. But if we use our atomic habits lesson and we just are consistent, or the cart on the water on the rock, and you do little steps to start out, but you do them every day, then those little steps get normalized, and then you can take bigger steps, and it seems like less and less of a change.
I like that. That reminds me of the part, I think this was the last chapter, when he found the It was a napkin scribble
Yeah.
or a journal scribble from 2 days after he did that first part, his father, or 2 weeks after his father passed. And he wrote down the 10 things I think that he wanted to accomplish in his life. And then here, 30 years later, he goes back and he's like, everything he wrote on that thing, he had done.
Yeah.
Even winning the Oscar,
Yeah.
right? And that was way before.
Powerful thing to write it down. That's why Grant writes his goals every day, right? Just write them down.
Well, and
Put a lot in the universe.
Aaron was saying how you just be consistent and you will achieve these goals. We will achieve our goals. We just need to keep pushing, right? It'll work.
Everyone wants to be a hero and run a marathon off no training.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe not everyone, but what if you started out with just taking a 15-minute walk every day, then next thing you know, you might be walking a half hour. Next thing you know, you might be running for 45 minutes straight. Then you're actually training for that marathon. And you're like, you built up to it.
Training.
And in that time, you start identifying like, okay, what tools do I need? I need these kind of shoes. And you don't just go, because I've done it before in the past. I'm like, I'm going to go do this. And I go and I buy all the shit. And it's like the wrong stuff. And then I go, I'm over it. I had this like fireworks burst, like, you know, this like burst of energy. And then it
faded.
Yeah, it faded.
Well, I think consistency is always the key. I know for me, it's, you know, I'm a routine person. Hardest thing for me to do is start a new routine.
Yeah.
Once I start the routine, then I can keep doing it. But that getting started, right? That atomic habits, right? What's it? Can only do it for 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 2 minutes or something like that. Maybe I should start with 2 minutes. Can only do it for 2 minutes.
I found myself getting bored at my routine after like a while that I'm the same thing every day. I get tired of it pretty quickly. And then I don't know if that has something to do with like all the rushness that we're living in with all social media and everything being thrown at us at once. But I just find myself getting bored pretty quickly at everything.
I get bored too with certain things.
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to a different book each time, it kind of spices it up. Keeps it interesting.
There's little things that I find I have every intention to wake up early to do, and I'm like, right, because it seems boring to me. But in my brain, as you know, because our quality time is our couch time. We just love to sit on the couch and watch our favorite show. And then sometimes we watch too long, and I'm like, should be doing something else. So I don't want to say it out loud and jinx it, but I've been starting to do my workouts that I had intention to do in the morning, right when we're watching our shows. And then I'm not really thinking about the workout. And before I know it, I'm done. It's done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I go and I sit down again with something. I'm working out while the show's going on. And it's like.
That's what I started doing too, because cardio is the hardest part for me. So I just put on, like, I'm currently addicted to UFC fights. So I just pick and choose one for 45 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
And that's great motivation to actually be working out too.
Yeah, so that keeps me entertained for the exact time that I need to be done with it. And then when I look at the fight, it's over, and I look at the time, I'm like, oh, we won.
Nice. See, sometimes you have to trick yourself into it.
That's true.
No,
Good deal.
not yet. Awesome. All right. Next week, dichotomy of leadership. Back into the heavy lifting. This was a fun little excursion.
It was.
Next week, back into the heavy lifting.
Is it heavy lifting?
I always, so for me, when we go through those books, like I take a lot of I guess maybe it's mental note, but
Yeah, there is a lot.
whenever it's like, okay, there's these like atomic habits, and there's
Yeah.
like, okay, you
Yeah.
need to do this and this and this. I tend to like
Like
take it
ownership.
very personal. Yeah. And
What's
then
cool about Jocko's books is they're 50-50. He's like telling war stories and then
Yeah.
he applies them to business. And the war stories part is like just goes super fast. It's super, and to me, it's super.
Yeah.
oh, I love his books. Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, guys. Thank you, Scotty, for joining. Nice background.
Absolutely. I'll have the Aaron, I'll have the ABT quotes over to you here a little later today.
Cool. Yeah, we had lunch with Brad yesterday, and he said he has like 2 or 3 options or something like that.
Yeah, he gave me two so far, and then they're putting together some custom one that had a custom rail or something. And so once they get that together, they'll send it over to me and I'll get that one to you guys as well.
I'm gonna call you Scotty One Kenobi with that effect because you look like the ghost of Obi-Wan right now.
It's funny. I wasn't up on the screen. I had the background. It's weird. Like I put my background on for the meeting this morning and I showed up on the screen through the new webcam I have. But then when I went on this meeting, it wasn't broadcasting through the webcam, but the background was still showing up. So I don't know how I fix these settings to make it so that everything is consistent. But this one, yeah, it does look like it has like a little like ghostish kind of glow to it.
Oh yeah.
As long as you don't end up with daisies floating around your head and you don't know how to get rid of them.
Mystical
Yeah.
advice to me.
Don't need that. All right, guys. Well, have a great day. And,
I know, I'm like blocking the shadow and it's like, all right.
Oh, fantastic. All right, man. Have a good week. We'll see you soon.
You too. Later.
Bye.